Today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, a pretty fascinating personal story. How someone turned an initial $100 investment in Ether into, believe it or not, over $10,000. Now, just to be clear up front, our mission here isn't financial advice, not at all. It's about pulling out the key lessons from this specific case study learning strategy, the mindset within the crypto world. This isn't some get rich quick scheme we're dissecting. It's about understanding the journey.
Yeah, and that's crucial. The initial goal here, it seems, was really about learning, engaging with a new technology. Profit wasn't the primary driver at the start. That's a really important distinction, I think. So it starts small, $100 in ETH, maybe through Coinbase, perhaps Binance, those common platforms.
Yeah.
And just so everyone knows, this isn't sponsored content or anything like that. It's just a real story, a learning process.
Okay, so $100 invested. What happened right after that? Did they just sit on it, or was there more going on? Because the interesting part is they didn't just buy it and then forget about it.
Exactly. No, this wasn't passive. It was what the community calls HODL, which, kind of funny, started as a typo for hold, but basically means hold on for dear life now. But it was more than just holding. It was an intense learning phase, really intense. This person, they dove deep into the technology, reading white papers.
The technical blueprints, basically.
Right. Following crypto news constantly, listening to, well, deep dives like this one, probably, and getting active in communities online, Reddit, Twitter, places like that.
And that makes sense. If we zoom out this kind of deep learning, it's vital for understanding any investment, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Especially something as volatile as crypto. Sounds like that knowledge really builds your conviction.
Absolutely, it does. Deep knowledge gives you that conviction, and you need that when the market goes wild, which it inevitably does. It helps reinforce that, okay, this is an investment in a technology, something with a future, not just a lottery ticket. Understanding why you're holding something is, well, essential to weathering those storms.
Okay, so let's get to the exciting part. Things started moving fast. The 2023 bull run, that initial $100, it just took off. Blew past $1,000, then $5,000, and eventually, boom, over $10,000. Wow. I mean, can you imagine seeing that? The excitement, maybe disbelief, and the pressure, the temptation to just sell it all must have been huge. That's where discipline really kicks in, right?
Right.
So how do they handle that moment?
That's a great question. And their approach was really quite disciplined. It wasn't an all or nothing thing. They used a calculated de-risking strategy. First move, sell just enough specifically. It was about 20% of their holdings then to get that original $100 back. So right away, boom, the rest is essentially risk-free.
Right.
You hear people call it playing with house money.
Ah, okay. That makes psychological sense. It takes the pressure off.
Exactly. Then later on, at a specific price point they targeted, they sold another 10%. So locking in some serious gains, but still keeping skin in the game for the long haul. It's, strategic, not just holding blindly, but actively managing the position and the emotion.
All right. So let's distill this. What are the core takeaways for you listening? First, start small. Clearly, you don't need a fortune to get started. $100 worked here. Second, educate yourself. Really dive deep. Understanding the tech builds real conviction, much more than just watching prices. Third, think long term. You need that conviction to ride out the ups and downs. Volatility is part of the game. Fourth, have a plan. Know your goals. Know when you might want to de-risk or take some profits off the table. And maybe fifth, enjoy the journey. It sounds like it was about more than just the final number. It was the learning, the validation.
Yeah, that $10,000 mark, it wasn't just, dollars and cents. It was validation, proof of the research, the patience, the belief in the tech itself. And I think we'd encourage you, the listener, to think about how these ideas, patience, deep learning apply elsewhere, not just investing, any area where you're trying to build knowledge or reach a big goal over time.
That's a great point. So maybe the final thought for you is, what parts of this sort of risk-free learning journey could you use beyond crypto? How could starting small, really educating yourself, having that long view, how could that change how you approach something new, a new skill, a personal project?
Because the real value, maybe, isn't the $10,000 itself. It's the change in understanding, the shift in mindset. That comes from really engaging, learning with discipline. That might be the real takeaway. Welcome to the Deep Dive.